Welcome back to Boring Reviews.
Boring land.
Oh, just kidding.
Blasphemer! Hello,
right.
Boring Review Nation!
Kind of pointless.
We know all things.
All right,
Boring
Boring Review
Nation.
Nation. No, I mean Boring Land. Nick here.
Gabe, what's up, people?
What is
We-
happening?
We are back. We are back to now give you episode 6, right? Is this 6? Episode 7. Wow, okay, I'm losing count already. Episode 7 of Paatal Lok. Paatal Lok. We're running through these. We were busting them out, but then of course cricket started last week, so you know what I mean? We got other stuff.
Breaks.
Had to pump the brakes. With that being said, man, I love this episode. Nick, since you're the master of giving us the 5-minute synopsis, go ahead and give us that 5-minute synopsis. What happens in this episode?
All right, so I did watch this a few days ago, so let me see. I'm sure there's someone I'm going to forget. But in this episode, like Gabe said, I really like this episode as well. Episode 6 was so dark and hard to watch, but still interesting. This one was much better. So you got Chaudhary. His story is things look to be getting a little better for him. His son is getting his clothing or whatever it was, his tie.
Respect.
I can't remember what it was.
Respect, cousin.
He's getting his stuff because his dad, he saw his dad as a G, and he's like, oh shoot. So he's getting his stuff for him. He's being nice. His wife, she's had it with the brother-in-law, with her brother, and she says, get this junk out of here. You know, I'm the only one who took care of you. You don't ever take care of me. I'm your younger sister. Good thing for her. He's going off and he's doing like I almost had a sting operation. He's going on a mission to find out more deep about this Master G character and what's going on. And we also get a lot of information. So that's kind of his thing. And I don't want to give too much in there, but his mission, his investigation is really interesting, especially the way it ends when he gets a phone call from his boss, right? Anyways, we also have your man, Tyagi, and a lot of his backstory of how he went from murdering those kids at the school to where his Master G. And, you know, Master G must just be like a symbol of respect because there's the main Master G, Donuela or whatever his name was. Right. And then there's also, you know, the PE teacher. But anyways, we find out how him and Tyagi got together after the murders. We find out why he left the police force. It wasn't cut out for him. Right. He starts working for this real Master G, and this guy is just the main Don. He is the boss of this place, and no one messes with him. He's almost like a supernatural type thing with this guy, and everybody's either terrified of him, they hate him, or they just want to serve him. So that's how this PE teacher guy is, former cop, and he gets his life spared by saying, you know, I'll be an informant, I'll help you out any way I can. So he gets Tyagi out of being killed because he said what Tyagi did was not necessarily considered murder in the eyes of the people. They did his sisters wrong, and so he got that revenge. But just like how that making the circle complete works for him, it works for the fathers, his uncles of his cousins that he killed. Right. And so they're going to come after him. So he gets protected. He gets put in the sanctuary, so to speak, and he's waiting to meet this Master G, this Donwell, I think his name was. And this guy has this assistant that we meet early on. This guy is no joke. Every head guy either has a woman just as strong at his side, which is why he's the head guy, or a henchman to his side who's just as strong, which is why he's the head guy. And so that's what this guy has in this one dude. I forget his name, like Baybar. I can't remember what his name was. I think Baybar is like a cricketer, actually. But anyways, whatever his name was, this guy, I'll put it right here in the bottom. He was a boss. And so the Tyagi guy, he's just at this place on his own. He's doing little yoga workouts for some lifts. It reminded me of the same. I'm not sure what that's called, but when you kind of move up like this, it was the same thing that the girl from Edge of Tomorrow, Emily Blunt, was doing. Remember that when Tom Cruise first meets her? She does that little move. Anyways, he's trying to get centered. We find out that he loves dogs, which is why what happens I skipped that. What happens at the very beginning in the prison where you get that creeper guy staring at Mary, and then you have these guys messing with these dogs because they think they're cool. It's going to make them big and tough. Tiagi's just washing up with the rest of the people, and he just stands up, headbutts the guy, and just stomps the junk out of him. I mean,
the guy kicks the dog, right, for no reason.
Yeah, he does not mess around whatsoever. And we actually talked about this a little bit when we were done watching, you had said that you see how Tiagi belongs in that place and how Mary does not.
Right.
And
right.
I mean, it was very telling there. But we learn more about Tiagi. He eventually oversaw a lot of sacrifice. That's how you find out how he has the 9 digits or the 9.5.
Right.
He has to sacrifice himself to be part of the gang, and then he becomes one of their assassins, and not just one of their assassins, but one of their lead assassins. I mean, when that scene, I guess I'll end my synopsis here, and then you can pick up your thoughts about it. But that scene when he has his first assassination officially, where the guy next to him, he's been in the game for a long time. He's like, this is how it goes. Like, he's so cool and suave about it. We're just going to wait. We're going to get some information. We're going to wait for the right time, and then we're going to strike. And the guy's thinking, like, wait for the right. And you can just see it in his mind. He doesn't say this, but you can see it working in his mind. Wait for the right time. The guy's right now is the right time. Right. He just gets his own number 1, his special, his Louisville slugger called the Hammer out.
Well, my favorite part about that scene is the guy is like, he tells him start the bike, and the guy's like, what are you talking about? So many people, man. And then he says, I said start the bike. Like, you could just tell, like, listen, I'm no nonsense. I don't care how long you've been here, but I don't mess around. All right. And guy started the bike, pulled off, and dude, they go in drive right by the guy on the motorcycle, and Tiagi pulls out the hammer and boom, busts him right in the, oh man. Gruesome. Funny part of the whole scene after he kills the guy, right? It makes me laugh because then his security guard who's with him says, like, I just got this job. I'm gonna get fired. Like, bro, you did a horrible job.
Yes.
Protecting her, right? But yeah,
he's got the gun slung on him, but he just was so shocked by this sneak attack. And not just that, but that thing was lodged in the face that he left the hammer behind.
Oh, and then, as Master G is telling Chaudhry this, he's telling the history of Tiagi and what happened. He's like, and then they just kept coming, and more pictures kept coming, and more pictures, and more assassination, and more hits. So now we know how he got up to 45 bodies. 45 bodies. That's insane, bro. But he's no nonsense. He's absolutely no nonsense, and he moved up through the ranks. So, now I'm completely thrown off. I'll get to that at the end, but I don't know. He is an assassin, so maybe they did send him after Sanjeev. So anyway, you already finished with that storyline. Now we got the Sanjeev storyline. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll let you take away at that because I'm drawing a blank right now.
Okay, with Sanjeev, basically what happens is, first of all, he's trying to call the Sarah, the girl he was having the affair with or whatever. She's not answering, but she's in the office. So he's like, are you ducking me? And she's like, look, I'm busy. I just got a lot of work to do. And it's being exposed. He's playing a dangerous game because he's trying to like almost blackmail his boss or whatever. Like, look, you can't take me off of the air, period. You know what I mean? And he's, again, being awful cavalier. I feel like, again, he either knows what's going on, he set it up, or maybe it's just as simple as a reporter who's desperate to hold on to the last, lifeline for their career. It could be that, you know what I mean? But again, this just does more. Not only do we not like Sanjeev going back a few episodes, but Sarah's starting to see how vain he is. I like Sarah.
I like her a lot too, and I love the whole thing where he's like, I said come back to my cabin. And she's like, okay, but I gotta take this guy with me because I was told he goes everywhere I go. And then he's just like, ugh, and he walks away. And the dude's like, what do we do? She's like, shut up and sit down. Let's get back to work. I mean, she is a boss. She knows what she's doing.
I definitely like her. She's not your typical damsel in distress. She's an empowered female. And, she saw that, Sanjeev isn't this heroic figure that she thought he was or whatever. And that, yeah, he's a little slimy with what he's doing. So she's calling him out on it. So I really like that storyline. We get a little bit about the wife, just a little bit. You know what I mean?
Oh, man, yeah.
Yeah, she's
moving on. I mean, she's got the dog in her mind. I know what you're doing. You're not going to be around. Don't pretend like you care. And he's like, we're getting rid of the dog. And she stood up to him and she's like, no, we're not. It's not that he needs me. I need her, or whatever, boy or girl. I'm not sure.
Right.
But going back to Sanjeev, I mean, he feels, again, his ego is just getting so big because he arranged that buyout with the new guy who's going to give him part ownership and all this kind of stuff and job security. And then the other guy who won't even shake his hand, who's selling it, he tries to be that damsel in distress, so to speak, like, oh, you're robbing me blind. And Sanjeev is like, no, we're not. You're getting twice as much what this was worth just a month ago because of me. I know how you are. You want to sell this place. You are so happy right now, so don't pretend. I mean, he's really, really smart. I mean, he's really, really cunning. He knows what he's doing. He's taking advantage of the opportunity, and that's something that I feel like successful people are able to do. Now, he's being a little ruthless about it, and he's a huge ego trip, which maybe that comes with the territory. But you got to respect him for his smarts in that. But you just know everything's going to be crumbling down on him pretty soon.
It has to. I feel like they're setting up to build him up to be the big bad of this. Because they've given us a background. We feel bad for Sarah at this point. We're just not Sarah. I'm sorry for
Dolly.
Yeah. We feel bad for her at this point. And again, let us know in the comments, did they end up killing Kabir M or not? I know they came after him and poked him with the razor blade, and you see him get pulled out on the stretcher. I'm not sure if a razor blade alone is going to do enough to kill you, but then again, he may not even belong in this place. Maybe he couldn't defend himself, and they went for the jugular and it's over. But he wasn't shown. We do get a little bit about just a quick tope of him. He's looking at his tattoo there in the shower.
That tattoo. What is that about? I did not see that. Get that semblance there.
Yeah, exactly. It's probably Easter egg for something that comes later on. But the thing with Taupe is, he also belongs there. So this is like a muddled conspiracy. And again, at first I thought the whole thing was just set up, but now that we've got the background on Taiji, and we know this guy is an assassin for this big, Don, let's call him. I'm not sure exactly what the role is, but he's got his whole army with him, and he's part of that army, as they say. So, okay, maybe they did send Taiji to kill Sanjeev. We know it wasn't the ISI. Guess what? Sanjeev knows it wasn't the ISI. So does Sarah, but he's being awfully cavalier with it. So, man, I want to see him take a fall. Like, he's just a slimy guy. I don't know how else better to put it. He reminds me, we talked on our last Throwback Thursday, we did what's the name of Die Hard, right? And in Die Hard, I'm sorry, I love the villain. Hans Gruber was the man. Who did I end up hitting in that movie? The reporter, Peck, or whatever his name was. He was a slimy dude. Yeah, exactly. That's what this guy Sanjeev to me is starting to feel like, just a slimy dude, man.
But the redeeming quality on the reporter for Die Hard is after he gets punched, what does he say? He's like, "Did you get that?" I mean, it's all about the story.
He don't care. Anything for the story. Anything for the story.
As far as Sanjeev goes, it looks like my original theory from episode 2 or 3 review is not going to ring true, that he set up himself. Maybe he did, but I doubt that's going to happen now. But I do remember, I think it was episode 1, the reason why he was in hot water is his boss said, you went up against someone that you don't go up against. It's not going to work out for you. I don't know if that was the guy that they ended up buying out from, the guy who owned the newspaper company or the newscast company, or that was this Don Wela guy, this Don or whatever, who he had ticked off because he got too close to some information on the story, and that's why he set up the hit. To me, that would make the most sense, that he got close to this guy that we got a name that it didn't mean nothing to us back then, and that this is the guy who's coming to get what he wants, because as we saw, Tyagi, he gets a picture and he does a job. And in this case, in this situation, for some reason, he felt he needed some extra help. We don't know the full, at least I don't know the full connection of Taupe with this whole situation. We know why Mary was in there, supposedly so that it didn't look too dangerous. We know why Kabir was in there, supposedly because he was the getaway driver. He was just a driver.
He stole the car, right?
I still don't understand exactly what Taupe's situation is. We do know that he was part of that one small little revolutionary caste gang or whatever at one point where the leader got his head cut off. But I want to go back to Abhishek Banerjee, who plays Tyagi. This guy continues. It wasn't just a one episode thing. It wasn't just a one note deal. This guy's performance in this episode, and they gave us some more meat on him, is absolutely on point. My favorite scene that he gives of how he's just so vulnerable being this tough guy. I mean, obviously I love the headbutt scene, but my favorite scene of his in this episode, and probably the whole series so far, is where his head is against the wall and he's pleading to the Master G, the Don Wella guy, to spare him. And he's almost crying. He says, anything for you, Master G. Anything. I mean, he means it. For some reason, he truly respects this guy, and he will do anything, as we know with the 45, you know what, on his resume.
Right.
I love that scene. Banerjee showed me a whole lot right there, and it showed me that he's not just a one-trick pony in this character, that he's got serious range.
No, definitely. I mean, we did not see anything like this in Mizapar, okay? He was a pretend gangster.
The closest thing was when he was talking about how to cut a person. That was a little telling about his range, but you're right. We didn't get anything close to this.
But that's it. And it was more, he was a comic relief more than anything in Street, right? But here, this guy, this was a moment of vulnerability for him. And obviously, he feels like this person saved my life because it's not his uncles were going to kill him, okay? He looked older, but remember, he still technically was a kid at that point when he killed his cousins or whatever at the school. So he's not going to be able to defend himself against his uncles and whatever mob comes after him. He was going to be killed. So Master G saved his life. And it wasn't because he was pleading for his life because he was in fear. He was pleading for his life because he wanted to serve Master G. And man, he's just become indoctrinated. And to me, yeah, that same scene is amazing, especially when he says, I'll do anything, I'll sacrifice anything. And he does at that point. I couldn't do it. I'll tell you right now, that's something that I can't. And for those of you that have seen the show, you know what we're talking about. We don't want to ruin it, but now we found out, and I was like, ooh, man.
But you know what? He went about it, and I was thinking about this, honestly. He went about it the best way possible. Just get it over with. There's no point of delaying the inevitable. He already knows he's committed, and just do it. And then you hear his cries, and you believe his cries. You know, random thought about the actors real quick is I was looking up because you said Street. Remember what his name was, Jonna in Street. I couldn't remember. And I realized, at least on Wikipedia, this guy has over a dozen casting director credits to his name, including on the show Paatal Lok. So think about that. You don't have too many actors that are also casting directors for TV shows and for movies. This guy's done it over a dozen times, including the show that he's acting in. So I think that's pretty cool and super random, but it just shows the range this actor has and how much he loves the business.
Definitely. And I would say that this was definitely his episode. Taiji, you know, we got his backstory, and you know what? I hate you, because you were right. We're still waiting on episode 7, and no phone. Where's the dang phone? This is the slowest, you know what I mean? Like, no, they must already know what's on the phone, and they just don't want to give up the information because there's probably some telling information on the phone, something that but bro, it doesn't take that long to get on the phone. I don't care if it's been at the bottom of the river, all right? I dropped my phone a couple times. Guess what? You put in a bag of rice, it's all right. The rice will suck out the water. You good to go, cousin, all right? My daughter dropped her phone a couple times in the bathtub. Don't ask me why, okay? And guess what? You pull it out, hit it with the blow dryer. You dry, you good to go. How long does it take to crack this phone? Come on, man.
Dude, I absolutely love the pacing in this show. My main complaint is just, for me at least, in my my prudish or whatever, episode 6 was really dark. But the pacing on this show is really good. Each episode maybe lasts 25 minutes when it's really 45 minutes in reality. Right. And this show, as different as it is, it reminds me of a show on Netflix, or it used to be on Netflix, called Broadchurch. Excellent show, an investigation about one case, really dark case, not murder or anything. But the pacing in that is very similar to this, to where they give you like where's my camera? They give you a clue in episode 2 or 3, and you don't find out about it until episode 7 or 8 when they're at their wits' end with the investigation. Talking about the investigation, Chaudhary does a great job in his mission. This dude's got guts. He's falling around this Master G character and his henchman. His henchman's henchman catches him on, and he just books it because he knows he's in danger. And there's a funny scene where the rickshaw driver is like, hey, you want to come in? And he's running from the bad guy. And he's like, no, I don't know you. And he's trying to hide or whatever to get away from that guy. That was pretty cool. He gets a phone call from his boss that says, we know what you're doing. The other cops, because the other cops, remember, they found him at their station. The other guy who went up to him, he's like, hey, I hope you're not snooping around and causing trouble in my city here. If I do, you're going to get me fired or whatever. I'm pretty sure he called the superintendent guy, the main guy, and said, what is your guy doing here? And he's probably like, he shouldn't be there. He's suspended. So now you're fired and now you're done, which is what happened, right? They fired him completely. Like, he's just
I'm pretty sure he's fired. I'm pretty sure he's done. That was my understanding. But my question is, how did they even know he was out there? Like, the only person that should have known he was out there was his partner. And I'm like, I hope his partner didn't dime him out.
It's because he went to that other location. He calls up Sarah. How can I find so-and-so? She says, get in touch with this guy I know, like a news reporter or something like that, some kind of contact she had. He goes to that place where the contact's at, and I'm assuming we're to assume that guy got killed recently, and the cops were investigating that, and that's why they're at that location. So he sees the cops in there. What are you doing here? Turns around and sees that creepy cop who obviously is in the Don's pocket and is not being a real cop. I think it was just it was either Sarah set him up or it was just a bad coincidence.
Gotcha. Which sucks, but we know that, listen, suspension or fired, he's not going to stop until he gets to the bottom of it. It's one of those things where now you just need to know. He's yearning, he's itching to know. And I think we've all had something like that where it becomes an obsession, you know what I mean? And it's become an obsession for him because this was his first big case and he wants to prove himself, whether or not, even if he solves this thing, I'm not sure. I think his career is beyond reproach at this point. You know what I mean? But who knows? Because I do feel like there's some kind of conspiracy starting from the very beginning with the FBI version of that Indian intelligence group that did not want to give him the information. I mean, they know what's going on. So I feel like they set him up for failure and they don't want this thing solved. So maybe he cracks the case and in the end, all's well, that ends well. We'll find out.
Yeah, my prediction is what's going to happen at the very, very, very end is that his partner is going to pass that test. They're going to find out that most people in there are corrupt. The main boss who officially fired him, who I think is a decent guy, but he says, my hands are tied. He's going to promote his partner, the young guy, as the new boss, and then he's going to hire back Chaudhary as his lead detective. That's just my opinion. That's kind of like a happy ending of how you sew everything up, but we'll have to see. I have not seen episode 8. I have not seen episode 9, not even a second of it, so I have no idea. But we want to try to keep this review under 20 minutes. We've done a pretty good job. So those are our thoughts. If Gabe, of course, you have anything else, I'll let it to you after I just say this episode's fantastic. Absolutely love it. The performances are great. The pacing is great. And the story was very intriguing.
I know we only have a few episodes to go. I just hope that they give me some closure this season. Don't give me a Sacred Games ending. Don't give me, a like cliffhanger like that where I'm just like, what's going on? Shows have become too much accustomed. On Netflix, and it's coming out really soon, The Umbrella Academy. I love The Umbrella Academy. If you have not seen it, watch it. It's absolutely fabulous. I put Nick onto it. But it was left on the biggest cliffhanger, and I'm like, why do showrunners feel comfortable to do this? Is it because they know once they got their hooks in you that, yeah, you're going to come back? You know what I mean? It's like, here, take the first piece of candy free because we know you're going to get hooked and come right on back, little boy. You know what I mean? Like,
that's a horrible analogy. That is a creepy analogy.
Isn't it like that, though? You know what I mean?
But I know what you mean. And yeah, you're right. You did put me on that. It's all your fault, you little punk. But I mean, these people are holding hands in the theater and then poof. Anyway, spoiler alert if you haven't watched that show. We hope you enjoy this review. We hope you've enjoyed all of our reviews. If you did, go ahead and give us that thumbs up. Go ahead and give us a subscription if you have not subscribed yet. And until next time.
We know all things.